I'm here with Juha to talk about Swallow the Sun, their latest record, Shining, coming out October 18th on Century Media Records. It's a pleasure to finally have you on the channel. I think I've spoken almost to every single member of the band at some point in time during an album release, but it's the first time that we get to chat on video. I mean, we've chatted, but not on video. So, welcome to the channel. I'm not going to ask you how you're doing, so let's get right into this album. Is this the most unique sounding album that Swallow the Sun has ever released?
Well, not for me at least. It's of course for me, whatever we release or we record is in a way normal because it comes from the place that is not normal for me. Yeah, because the music comes from the heart, then it's Swallow the Sun. That's all I care. That's all we ever gonna release or whatever. But the work with this huge producer, of course, when we went to London with Mikko to record vocals in his studio there, and first thing I see, he has this like a picture on wall, billion streams, the stuff he produced. I mean, then you think that what the fuck am I doing here? But in a way, that was the whole point. Whole point also to get him and get this fresh kind of a set of ears, totally outside of the genre. Sorry if I'm already ruining your other questions,
No,
but
no, no, no. This is
yeah,
totally
that's there,
cool.
there you go. So yeah, a fresh. We are not very fresh guys, but especially in a tour bus. But the music, there is a certain, well, compared to the Moonflowers,
Oh
it's
yeah.
a it's a big difference. Which was yeah, this album was almost like a guardian angel to me. Um, or maybe there wouldn't be anything ever again to go deeper now at this point, at least in my life, to that dark places. It start to be in a line where there is no coming back, and in a way that was a big thing. Only thing I hoped for, if there's ever going to be new music, was exactly this album, and thank gods that that it came out like this.
Yeah, because it to me it sounded like I think you guys achieved something that I didn't think it was possible with the band, which was to create an album that's still very melancholic, that still has a lot of sadness in it, but you're presenting it under a very bright light, which was not the case with previous records, specifically Moonflowers.
Yeah. Well, when a shadow is forced into the light, that's a like album that I totally love. I, of course, I would never ever want in my life to write for the reasons the album like or that album. I would give everything. I would give my own life away if I wouldn't need to write that album for the reasons why it's written. But when a shadow was that was written from like from just from the love, and then Moonflowers when the whole fucking world closed down, the lockdown and COVID and everything was going to the right direction totally after the When a Shadow. And then what happened? You can hear it from the Moonflowers back to the zero, even deeper down to under the fucking ice and everything. So yeah, it was a dangerous place after the Moonflowers tours and everything. That I knew that I start to be like from my heart and from even from the physical things, I start to be in very dangerous point where things are going to go now from here. So and then I put this little hope in the air that I remember saying to myself that Juha, if there's ever going to be any new music, maybe have a little bit mercy for yourself with the new stuff, maybe. But I can't. The music that comes, it comes from the natural place. I don't write the music. I don't write music like yeah, I don't write it every day. I'm not a guy who sits with the guitar and writes down 100,000 riffs and start to pick up which is the best. I don't touch the guitar. I don't do anything. I let the music grow, ring back on my head and everything. Because I live here in a forest and the music is everywhere. So outside there in the nature and in my head. So I let it pile up, and when it comes like a tsunami, and it writes itself very fast. And I don't touch basically anything. I do a little bit like a production thing myself to take a little bit unnecessary things, shorten things or whatever if it's not that kind of thing. But I don't even touch anything like basically any riffs or any music because it came such an honest place that I don't want to touch on it. Maybe I could do this thing a little bit better, but no. I rather give it there because then that's gonna be the moment when I start to think about music or what maybe this way or that way. And even that is the most important thing for me, that to write for myself, because if I start to write for anybody else, I mean this band's music, thinking about the fans or thinking about the critics or thinking about anything, that's the day when I do first bad song, first bad album. Sorry to being cocky, but that's just how it is. And that's why I can stand always 110% behind the music. And that's why, yeah, like a sport, if you do your best and you failed anyways, at least you did your best and you can be proud of what you did. That was what you could do. That was you. So in that way, it's a music is everything else than sport. Well, ask about the Shredders. Maybe it's a sport, but yeah, there you go with the answer.
No, for you, you're a vessel to the music that you create. You're just like the in between the middleman, if you will. When I was listening to this album, first of all, I think it's the best album you guys have ever done. It's my favorite Swallow the Sun record of all
Oh,
time, and the reason is simple. The reason
what's
why
wrong with the other ones?
there's nothing wrong with the other ones, but
No, I'm joking.
I'm going to tell you why this one is my
I'm joking.
favorite because
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Color Purple. But
Mm.
but if you watch a movie that has a very depressive story, that has a very sad story, doesn't matter how good that movie is, at the end of the movie, you don't feel like watching the movie again because you feel so drained by the experience. Your emotions are so high that you need to sit down and you need to cool off, and it's going to take you 5 years before you go back to that movie again. And when I listen to a Swallow the Sun record, I enjoy tremendously the album, but emotionally, I'm spent at the end of the record. This album, I wasn't. This was the first time where I listened to a record and I got all the same emotions that I get when I listen to a Swallow the Sun album. But at the end of the album, I was like, I need to listen to it again. I can go back to it again. I didn't feel that weight of the world on my shoulders that I normally do. That is why this one is my favorite record.
Um, I'm super happy to hear. Now I should be a true doom guy and say that no, you should fucking suffer and you should be crying all the time. What's wrong with you? And everything. I'm exactly the same. I'm happy to hear because that's how I feel. That's why for me most of our albums and songs from the north included is kind of like I really don't want to go and listen to it. I mean, I don't listen that much, of course, our own music that much otherwise anyways, because you had to play for it so much and everything. But that's exactly why it's very hard to go back on the. I mean, I'm not gonna go, oh, I'm gonna listen to Moonflowers. I don't know if I'll listen to it. I don't even, yeah, because that's the album I hate, which I love for the same reason that it's so dark, it's so painful, it's so dark from that place, and I hated that what happened. Why I need to write that album and everything. So and I come from the place. Even I'm sure there's lots of people who think that yeah, I'm some kind of an emo who look I did the hair emo that drinks red wine and cries on the candlelight at home and weeps the world and everything. No, fuck it. I'm not gonna pretend anything else. That's of course there's a big part of me in a way how I express myself maybe in this. Hey, somebody just said comment about me. What an emo fuck. so so yeah, I guess I am an emo. So and it was even I think with two C's and two K's. So it was a strong statement.
Yeah, that
What I am. Yeah.
this
So anyways, but that's of course it's a part of me. You can hear it from the music in that kind of way. But I'm not like a I'm not like a poet who weeps in the forest and all the time and that kind of stuff. It's I just have to write what comes out naturally and like unfortunately it comes from the real place and so I'm and that's the last thing I ever wanted to bring people down with me and for them to carry my weight or also the other way how it goes sometimes quite many times actually on the gigs when we are playing I feel like I'm carrying the because the feel the atmosphere is like it's heavier than the whole fucking world on the shows and people crying in a front row and that's why it's been very hard for a long time for me to even look at the people because I had to struggle with myself to get through the show and then play these songs and stop yourself like over and over again, which I do in a normal life too. But then when you're there and I just because I see everything as a, and I hope I will see the music as a movie. I've seen it as my own life for quite a long time and go on a stage. So that's in a way it's a beautiful thing and kind of like this connection with the audience and everything. And but it's a quite heavy thing to go through night after night and but I still love it, of course, I have to do it. Maybe as a Finnish bastard who, doesn't talk even when he's super drunk, and I'm never drunk, so that's my so that's my this is my way to get stuff out, of course.
It,
But yeah, I'm very happy that you feel like that because that was what I hope to feel that maybe I can listen this new album um, a little bit more, even myself, in a way, even it's far from any positive album, like you said. The lyrics are they are quite rough for myself. But then again, the positive thing is that I'm mirroring myself in this new album, kind of like, and I've been the last many albums I've been looking outside and try to understand things. Now I try to understand a little bit within myself what has happened and why people have behaved how or whatever has happened and how I have been treating people and how people have been treating me and all the things that happens in life for all of us. So at least I've been trying to figure out myself a little bit more on that edge where I stayed after the Moonflower. So thank God or gods or Thor or Odin or whoever you believe that this album came out. I needed it, and I always have to write music for myself.
the funny part about what you just said about the emo and how people perceive you, I before we met in person and before we got to talk and spend some time, I had that same perception. This guy must live like in a very dark house, no
I
electricity.
do. Yes.
It's just candle lights, like always depressed, like, because you've gone through some incredible hardships in your life and those things leave a permanent mark on you. I mean, the cut may scar, but the scar doesn't go away. It's always going to be there. So that was the perception that I had. And then when we met up and we got to talk and spend some time together, you have a great sense of humor. You're not completely different from the music that you create, but there is a brighter side of you that we don't see necessarily through the music. But I think you're showing us a little bit of that on this record. And this is an interesting aspect because you're letting go of that dark veil a little bit more on this album. And I think fans are going to see you differently through this record. And I think that's important for you and for the fans.
Yeah, well, I can only be me. That's and this band can only be itself, like what really it really is. And of course, through the music, we all get all kind of things when we think about people and well, whatever, if you really don't know and this band has had shitloads of black dark humor on the past in even in our music and especially on a tour and everything else and what we've been we even now people have been a little bit pissed off because we had those those male boxers and with the pre-orders that says false prophet of doom and then there's a girl G-strings that says pussy doom and everything. We had this, we had this already 2007 with the Hope album pre-orders. I mean, there was a boxers and it was actually meant to say swallow in a front of the man's boxers and everything, but that time the guy said that no, maybe not the best idea. And that was my idea, of course.
I think it's a great idea. I think you need to bring
Yeah,
that back. You need
I,
for the North American tour. You need to bring that back for the North American tour.
yeah, I hope that we're gonna bring the boxers and the G strings also. But actually, when we did those boxers and we were selling them on 2007, fucking the guys, everybody just came to pick up them because they didn't have they took like one pair of clean underwear to the whole tour, and then they just, I need some underwear. I think that that's mostly where they went to the band to change the clean underwear. Fuck that. But anyway, so but yes, but there has been a lot of this. But of course, the humor. I mean, yeah, it ended. And well, it's not. I mean, there's not that much been humor in the music, but there's been some. Yeah, I can tell them, but there's a and people can find them from the old albums. But it kind of it really ended on when I mean in a Song from the North. Uh, that's where where yeah. But ever since from then and it's and still this new album there's not humor there at all. Only little kind of like a humorous thing was the with this new album was the November Dust, which because even the song is it's it's like almost tribute to Type O Negative. The song is like almost like a tribute. It's such a because we all love so much Type O Negative, and even October Rust, November Dust. There's the little humor on the name, which is on purpose, even to underline because it's such a Type O Negative song,
It's by
which
the way
is
one of my favorites of the record. That one in Charcoal Sky.
yeah. I mean, it's total Swallow the Sun. We had it's everything is Swallow the Sun in that because Type O Negative has been such a big inspiration for me and to the other guys too. So, but that's the only thing. But of course, yeah. Anyways,
By the way, I gotta ask you this because I'm really curious. So I gotta ask you, in the music videos, you've had these people dressed like with these white gowns, and my son and I, when we watched the video, we had like I had my own little interpretation what I think it is. But what do they really represent for you guys?
well, I mean, I'm gonna leave that open because that's the most beautiful thing. I remember watching that thing, and I seen it before when you listen to the songs and you go, and I'm so happy when what things that comes to your mind, and that's the beautiful thing about the music that it can be totally different what I was thinking, and that's why I don't want to explain the music that much or the lyrics ever, kind of like because like we all know, you know it well that when you listen to the songs, any songs, you make it through your own life. So and that's much more. And then the artist come and say, yeah, this is about eating 7-Eleven some burritos there, $1 burritos. So there's a cat now meowing. So it's not me weeping here. If you hear a cat meowing, it's a
No, actually, I don't hear it, but that would add some atmosphere to the interview, that's for sure.
yes.
Oh, and it's a black cat too, so it goes with the whole theme.
Yeah, so he is crying here. So it's not me, emo fuck, uh, weeping, weeping here at the moment.
But I agree with you. I think it's important to leave it open for the listener to kind of make up their own version of what it is that you created. It
Yes,
becomes more
it's
meaningful.
yeah, it is, and because it happened to me many times. I had this amazing thing, when I've been listening to songs and what it means to me, and I hate it when the artist when they tell that it's just like well, like Type O Negative. I mean, Wolf Moon, one of my favorite songs ever. Well, I love what it is about because it's about women periods eating the. I don't know how much you can say in this
You can
program.
do whatever you want.
Anyways, yeah, female parts and blood. Let's just say that on a certain time of the month, and So it's about that the song, but the thing I love most about Type One Negative is that kind of a little bit of this more a lot of humorous thing behind it, which makes the music even more dark. Because if you take, I mean, of course, our music is it couldn't be more hasn't couldn't be more darker, but for the last many years, for yeah, well, what else could it have been? And it still is, but I still always wanted to have some light, at least a little bit of a light on it, and some kind of a hope. I'm a person who has a hope until the fucking last breath, and yeah, fortunately and unfortunately in a way, but so yeah, okay, let's go. I'm getting my email now.
Yeah, you're getting all
You're gonna
emotional.
get
So,
you're gonna get
let me ask you this because I don't think we have a lot of time. So let me ask you this question. Um, you mentioned earlier that when you make your music, the music comes from you, and you don't design it. It just you're just like a vessel to it. You're not worried about fans. You're not worried about critics. But we have to see the impact that Swallow the Sun has had in terms of doom and that Finnish melancholy. You guys, like if you look for Finnish melancholy in the dictionary, Swallow the Sun is the definition of that. Does you do not feel any weight on you considering the impact that the band has had and the legacy that the band has created?
I mean, I'm just super proud of it because for me, I just wanted to have those few demos out in 2000. So when I wrote a few songs that are in the first album also. So, so kind of like that we have 25 years now next year of the band, and there's a book written about the whole story of the Soul of the Sun and everything. Of course, I'm super proud. If I could change that uh, things that has happened, because I can only talk about or write about my own life. Things have happened while the music exists. I will swap it in a second if none of those things would have happened. So in that way, it's a weight. It's a quite a weight, especially after doing the book and reading, and then I was thinking on the back, and that also was one thing about Shining. That when I was thinking about the weight I feel and the music holds and everything, it kind of like yeah yeah, well, I already talked about the weight and the dangerous place where you and many take that step over that last line, and I don't want to. I think there's a people out there who kind of who this thing is or they're not just thinking too much, but it feels like this is kind of like a soap opera, the whole thing, and they're almost wishing for the worst end possible for the story. Give us that, or you're fake or whatever. They don't understand that this is not a soap opera or some kind of a fiction movie or anything like that. So there's a lot of weight in that way, but that's why I'm so happy about that the new album. Yeah, it's not positive, but it's an uplifting album that lifted me up from that line where I was standing at the end of the world, edge of the world. So and now there's one thing quickly. I know we don't have much time, but if you look at this house has no home video from the Moonflowers, the last video we did, and you can see the diamonds,
Hmm.
and now the diamonds moved to this new album cover, and it's shining. So there's a connection between like this transform thing about this thing and the cover is white and everything. It's far from a positive thing, but it has that fucking power that I needed. Somebody to slap me in the face and kick me in the ass and kick me in the balls. I got huge balls, so it's easy to kick them. I
Well,
got huge balls to make this music.
and that's why you need some extra large boxers. You need some bigger boxers. So I honestly hope you guys bring those boxers to North America with Swallow up front and maybe the sun at the back. Like that would be really cool.
Or
Uh,
the full moon on the back.
full moon, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, there is no swallow on the front, but I was hoping 2007 that we will put swallow on the front.
Yeah, I think would be
Uh, Yeah.
I
Well,
think that's
we've been called all these things false prophets of doom and pussy doom and everything. I love the pussy doom. But the best one I heard, and that wasn't a long time ago, was about Swallow the Sun. The music, it's beta as fuck. That's great. Do you say beta or beta? But you know, alpha and beta. So beta as fuck. And also quickly before this, the absolute best thing about is uh, I came here for metal, not for feelings. I mean, that's the number one and number two things, that beta and that one. So for sure,
those are some incredible comments. I mean, those would
I
make
love them. I love them.
outstanding t-shirts. Like that's also a great idea for some Swallow the Sun t-shirts.
Well, we've been talking about it on the back, all these comments, and especially when we were touring with Children of Bodom, even it was great, and the audience was amazing, everything. But you know, there was lots of very confused macho true metal guys that were
I,
yelling
I
lots of
remember that tour with Wolfheart as well.
yeah. So yeah, Wolfheart, a real man's music, and Children of Bodom, the same thing. And then we come with our pussy doom. So there was all respect for the both bands, amazing bands both, but yeah, there was a little bit confusing. There was even one scream that "What is this?" and it was a little bit like a desperate cry, like a big question mark, and play faster,
Play
play
fast.
so yeah, play faster, play solos. I'm gonna. Well, I mean, I love it. I love it. It's luckily that kind of things just gives me a good smile. So
Yeah, it gives me a good smile. I think you guys need
yes,
to put all of those comments on a t-shirt,
we're
and
gonna do it.
then
We've been talking about it for years.
yeah, and then you
So
can put like, making Pussy Doom since 2000. I don't know, something like that.
yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love it. Juha, thank you very much for your time, man. I'll see you in North America in 2025 on a great tour that you guys are going to be with Harakiri for the Sky. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys back in North America again. We'll do some sushi again like we did last time.
Yeah, it was amazing to see you last time, and all the best, my friend, and I'll see you there. And it's also yeah, Harakiri for the Sky, Swallow the Sun, Harakiri for the Sky, Ghost Bath, and
Ghost Bath, yeah.
Snakes of Russia. Snakes of Russia, oh, amazing! Also, you know, it's amazing lineup. So I'm super happy about that. So let's just hope that I can find somebody to look after my cats, because that's that's at the moment a little bit of a problem. But let's see. It's gonna.
I'm sure
I'm
you will
sure.
manage. All right, man. All the best. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you soon.
See you, mate.
Take care, man.